We're at a brand new restaurant, Gecko Miami. It's Dave Grutman's new restaurant with Bad Bunny. It's actually opening tonight, so it's pretty crazy. We're gonna do the pod here. We got the Bored Ape founders coming, and it's pretty crazy because we just launched the Bored Ape flavor of Happy Dad as well. And we also have the merch on fullsend.com, the Bored Ape shit. Also, I know there's fucking hella crypto whales right now watching, a lot of people into crypto. So shout out to Stake. Stake is the best online crypto casino. I use Stake all the time when I'm back home in Canada with my boys and shit. There's also Stake US now, so if you're in US, check that out. But yeah, shout out to Stake. Always place your bets on Stake, boys. The best luck. We got the boys pulling up right now. Let's get into it.
This is very surreal. Should we?
I know, it's cool, right?
It's amazing.
What do you guys, did you guys just see it on Twitter recently?
No? Yeah, we've seen it like, I think.
Elon,
we're rolling too. You could just,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
We just go for it.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys saw it on Twitter?
Yeah, we saw it on when you guys were talking to Elon, somebody like sent it to us. They're like, yo, do you know about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, this is, we really appreciate you guys coming through. We got the founders of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, Gordon, Greg,
Gargamel, whatever. Yeah, all good.
Yeah.
Either one.
No, I think this is like a really cool one for us too, because obviously we love the NFT space too, and just like to see what you guys have done over the last few years is like, it's crazy.
Thank
man.
you.
Yeah,
It's insane.
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
It's not,
Not even a few, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy. You guys don't do a lot of like sit downs and stuff too, right?
This is actually, I would say, our first. We did an interview with Input Magazine. That was kind of like our first big interview in person a couple weeks ago. We recently did a podcast that hasn't aired yet. It'll be on NPR. But this is like our first, I think, legitimate like sit-down
On-screen
podcast.
thing, yeah.
This one's gonna be big too.
Yeah.
You guys have been killing it lately.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. I was looking up like who your last couple of people were, and I was like, oh shit. Like,
Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys are
I
at
see
that
your
level.
content come up on TikTok. Like ultimately, it's like my nightly routine is to go on TikTok, and you guys have like been crushing it.
Yeah.
Do a lot of people ask you to do interviews and you guys don't want to do them? Or?
Yeah, we get asked a lot, especially lately. But
yeah, for the longest time, I mean, I don't know. We're like usually pretty private guys, and like, I don't know, we've been doing this for just a year and a half, like 14 hours a day, every day, just like focused on the business. And so it's hard to be like, oh, let's put aside time to just like go out and do press or talk to people and all that. I don't
also
know.
like kind of like a socially anxious person to some degree. Like it's funny, like you put me in a crowd of people, and I'm like totally normal. I could be the life of the party, but like something like this, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, Guy Osiri, who he reached out to us about this, and he always tells me that how focused you guys are, right? Like, because I asked a few months ago, I was like, hey, like, would love to meet them, not even for the podcast, would just love to sit down with you guys. And guys like, dude, these guys are so laser focused. Like, you'll see. He's like, I can't tell you, but you'll see what they come out with. Then ApeCoin came out, Other Side came out, the CryptoPunks, so I was like, oh shit, okay, now I get like these guys are really building something special.
Yeah, for a long time it was like the motto was like actions speak louder than words, and it was like there wasn't a lot of people in the NFT space who were really sticking it out past the point where they made a few million or whatever it was, and it was just like we wanted to be known as the founders who worked our asses off, and that's what we did.
It's inspiring.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really inspiring to us because same thing with our product. We minted 10,000 back in January. Something like 9,000 of the 10,000 have been held for over 90 days, and people don't sell. There's only actually less than 90 listed out of the 10,000 that were minted.
What's with the drill too?
The drill, well, the restaurant's opening tonight.
Guys, we have the Bored Ape founders, not lazy lions.
Yeah.
Make sure everyone knows that.
You guys want to try one of these?
Yeah, I would love to.
for sure.
Love to.
John, you want to pass two of them? Okay. How long have you guys known each other?
10 years,
10, 11
like
years, something like that.
Yeah.
And when did you guys get started on working on this whole project?
I want to say too, before we get into that, I think there's going to be a lot of like hardcore NFT, like people listening to this too, but there's also going to be a lot of casual people. So I just want to let the audience know too, we're going to kind of ask some questions for everybody too.
We don't. I mean, we did that with Elon. I mean, there's a reason why Elon's episode was 3 hours long. People are like, "Well, I can't believe you didn't ask about this specific galaxy and all this." I was like, "Dude, we're just chatting with one of the boys.
learning,
Like, we were asking random stuff." That Elon episode, I'll be honest, could have, if we didn't drink so much, it could have been a 5-hour episode. We were at the end, including him. We're like,
I think Elon was getting too tanked.
Yeah, like we were all like, okay, if it weren't for drinking, like that would have been a 5-hour episode because we just like to talk about everything, nothing specific.
There's like an endless amount of topics with that guy.
Yeah,
It's like you can go from everything from like, is the world a simulation to just like, are aliens real? Or it's like, cars.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. What else? What was some like random things we talked about too? There was
Talked about his house parties, like
house parties,
mushrooms, everything you think
Nice.
of.
Has he done mushrooms?
Gaming too.
Oh yeah,
He has to. I don't know if he admitted to it,
Okay.
but he has to.
Nice.
for sure.
Nice.
So yeah,
But he's pro mushrooms,
yeah, he's pro.
Nice.
pro psychedelics.
You might
Yeah,
be too.
how did this all like kind of start? Like, how did you two meet each other? I'm so interested in
Yeah.
just this whole story.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we met in Miami. We both grew up in Miami, but we didn't actually meet while we were living here. We met like on spring break. I was doing my undergrad in New York. He was in Chicago. Turns out we had mutual friends that like we each knew since the time we were like 15 or
How
whatever.
many years ago was this?
This was like 10 years ago that
Okay.
we met. And yeah, just at like some shitty bar in South Miami that like our mutual friends would go to. And we like, I don't know, we just started talking and we just got in a fight about books basically. Like I was studying writing. He was too. You know, he's got like fucking Kurt Vonnegut's face tattooed on his arm. So like clearly he's a novelist that we both liked at
There
the
was
time.
this like book that I was obsessed with at the time called Infinite Jest by a guy named David Foster Wallace, which is like 1,000 pages and is like kind of cringy if you're like of a certain age and you're a man and you're like, that's my favorite book. And I immediately was like, have you read that? And he's like, that guy sucks. And like, that was basically,
Yeah, we just
how we
like
started our
started
friendship.
fighting.
Yeah.
And then that was like the genesis of everything. It was like became like a sparring partner for ideas and creative stuff over the years, just like texting about like, oh, what do you think about this or this short story? I'm working on this project. And then, you know, it's just somebody that you could be very frank with about like, that's a piece of shit, but maybe do this instead and whatever. And then it was just like a productive, creative relationship in that way.
And then we became even closer friends through MMORPGs. Have you guys ever played any of those, like World of Warcraft or anything like that back in the
I
day?
played Reign of Chaos.
Reign of Chaos. Okay.
You play that?
No, I don't know
before?
that one.
Nice.
Was
I
it
need
like
that for
after
the
World of
gaming
Warcraft?
It's for losers.
No, that was before.
It was before, really?
But it was like, have you played Diablo?
Yeah.
It's like when Diablo got hot.
Gotcha. Okay. We played some of the early MMORPGs too. I think you were a big EverQuest fan. I played a game called Star Wars Galaxies.
Is RuneScape considered that or no?
RuneScape is definitely like OG RuneScape
Okay.
for sure.
I
yeah.
ran RuneScape back in the day.
Yeah, I got a lot of the people in our club actually are like old school
really?
RuneScape fans. Yeah.
It makes sense. Like people
Yeah.
who get
How
into
about
NFTs.
Maple Story?
I remember Maple Story. It was amazing.
Maple Story was
Yeah.
lit.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff.
But yeah,
How
so-
long ago was this?
Well, I mean, so if we met 11 years ago, we played we played like World of Warcraft together as like soon as like a few years ago.
Yeah, definitely like, you
this
know,
was
like
adults,
late
you know?
20s, like
Like-
not cool. Like, you know, just like, yeah, just nerding out.
And then from there, you were the first person to introduce me to crypto,
Like 2017.
and you had already been exposed to it, I think, in 2015.
I knew about it since like college, since like 2009, but that's how it works with crypto. Is like the first time you hear about it, you're like, no, I don't
Yeah.
get it, or this seems weird. And then like fast forward 5 years later and it's at like 100x what it was. And you're like, oh, I should have
Yeah.
paid attention or something.
Right, because like
Yeah.
the person who first told you about it like is now rich,
Yeah.
and you're the idiot who didn't listen.
I don't think you guys did this by design. It just happened with like musicians and artists and celebrities like picking it up. I know MoonPay was a lot behind it as well, but which is a good thing. Like I think MoonPay's really been aggressive with like making it mainstream, but like it was your guys' projects that really put NFTs and got guys like me to actually pay attention.
I think the IP piece of the puzzle was the thing that took it to the next level. We weren't the first project to give away a license to the Bored Apes to NFT holders, but I think we were the first project to do it with IP that actually felt like, you know, that you would want to utilize for products and branding or TV shows or whatever it is. That was the thing that like I think really captured the attention, because when we put this out, we had no idea it would become this big, obviously. We had sort of, you know, an idea of like utility in mind and sort of dreams, and we kind of made the scaffolding there. So it was like, okay, maybe this could be like a Web3 Supreme, or maybe this could be, you know, something larger than life. But at the same time, watching what occurred was like unbelievable, right? Like within a week, people were creating derivatives of their Bored Apes and like having artists commission them, and people were already figuring out ways to like, you know, monetize the intellectual property, which was incredible.
Crazy.
Yeah.
How did they
So
start?
how did that? Yeah, going back to that story. So after that,
Yeah.
World of Warcraft.
Wait, 2017. That's pretty recent too to get into crypto, right?
Yeah,
Relatively,
it was,
yeah.
It was. I think that was a big moment. A lot of people were getting into it, and I threw like $1,000 into like 5 different things. But what was interesting then, I feel like that hadn't existed, at least not for me previously knowing about crypto, was like you just got into these communities on Twitter, and you could read about 20 different cryptocurrencies all day and just feel like you were scratching like the surface.
Oh, yeah.
It just felt like there was this whole world of possibility opening up, and like you just wanted to know more. It was like this attention economy that was going on. And I don't know, like, and also it was just like a magical moment where like, yeah, we bought in at ETH at like $300 and then went to like 1,400 in like 4 months. And it was just like, this is crazy what is happening here. And then the bear market hit and things got quiet, but like it just felt like something that we always wanted to kind of pay attention to, but we were non-technical people, so it was like, how do we like participate in this as like creatives or storytellers and that kind of thing.
Yeah, like we were like really obsessed a little bit with crypto Twitter and like the personalities that would be on there, and like there was something really endearing about some of these guys or girls. It was like they, you know, you could basically cryptographically verify that the person behind like that cat picture was worth, you know, maybe $100 million in crypto or something. And, you know, instead of like fucking off to the south of France like most people in their 20s would if they made that much money very quickly, they were just like up at 2 a.m. being like, who wants to play League? You know, like I'm bored. And that was like very odd to us. It was like, I don't know, just interesting.
I love
That's
crypto
crazy.
Twitter.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
hilarious.
like the memes are just
It's all about the
amazing.
memes.
It's
Yeah.
Crypto
ridiculous.
Twitter is good. A little bit better than political Twitter.
Oh yeah, like
Hopefully-
the deeper you get into it, the more inside baseball it gets. It just becomes like hilarious. you
Yeah.
know?
So were you guys just buying coins together, like investing?
He was more of like a long-term investor. I kind of took like a fish to water with like trading and technical analysis, which I was like moderately okay with because I had some experience with that in penny stocks when I was in college. But and we kind of just rode that first wave, 2017, which was our first wave, all the way up and all the way down, basically. And then kind of just kept Twitter and the crypto in the back of our heads because we were like, you know, we can't contribute to this as tech guys because that's not really what we are. We can't contribute to this really meaningfully as traders or investors because we're not that good at it. But culture hadn't really come to Ethereum. We'd been exposed to NFTs very early on in 2017 via CryptoPunks and a project called CryptoKitties. And I remember that was my first NFT was a CryptoKitty. But it didn't seem to like really capture the attention beyond that bull cycle, you know, because it didn't like it felt a little dilutive. It wasn't there. It kind of had like the feeling of an NFT blockchain game, but not really. It wasn't like fully fleshed out yet. But both those projects were like pioneers, particularly CryptoPunks, which were like the first truly generative profile picture project.
Did you buy it as an investment or just to like get into
No,
the
I mean, I
space?
bought it at the time. I did not even consider it as an investment. I bought it thinking like, oh, maybe I can do something with this. Maybe it's fun.
Yeah.
And it was for a little bit. And then it kind of like, you know, the attention kind of died out.
That was in 2017.
That was in 2017, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
How did
Yeah.
you even hear of them then?
I think through
Everybody-
crypto
yeah,
Twitter. It was like, that was just a moment in time. It was just a flash in the pan on crypto Twitter where everyone was just buying crypto kitties one day. And you're just like,
They were
okay.
just like these digital
Wow.
cats that you could like breed and get more cats, and like, you know, it's so popular that like it was clogging up the Ethereum network that day. Like you couldn't get another transaction through some days because like everyone was just like breeding cats on the internet, and it was like, what is happening? Like,
That's crazy.
at the same time that like the scarcity model for it wasn't really there. Like it's not like, you know, when you think about Bored Apes, something like that, there's 10,000, where it's like with CryptoKitties, it was just like, okay, these cats are just multiplying, and like the value of the one before it isn't there anymore because there's, you know,
Right.
100,000 of them or whatever it is.
Right.
And now, fast forward to now, you guys bought CryptoPunks.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty wild.
And I
So-
think what you guys,
Sorry. I was gonna say what like when did you guys decide to make your project?
So early 2021, you know, in late 2020, crypto started to be like more of a thing again in the mainstream, you know, public. And by January kind of 2021, a project called Hashmask came out that caught our attention. It caught everybody's attention on crypto Twitter, basically, because it was like an art project that was getting published on Ethereum is what it was. It was like an NFT project that wasn't like a technical thing like CryptoKitties was. It wasn't like this weird generative thing like CryptoPunks was. It was just like a new medium for people to publish on. In the same way it's like when podcasting opened up, or like, you know, YouTube creators or anything else, it's like, holy shit, here's this new place to like put content out that you don't have to be like the most technically savvy person in the world to do it.
Right.
Like, and if you understand the medium and all that, like that's like a moment in time. And so we just, you know, I saw Hashmask and literally I texted him like, hey, let's make an NFT. And he, you know, was like immediately like, let's fucking go. And I think the next day I sent like a legal Zoom, you know, I made an LLC as a way of like, okay, this isn't going to just be like a COVID side project that we don't follow in on. I'm like kind of burning the ships. Like this is going to be a pain in the ass to wind down because I'm like incorporating and all this crap for it. Anyway.
Damn.
Did you guys own a bunch of others up to that point, like since your CryptoKitty? Were you
No.
continuously buying or?
No.
So what was the first move you made when you like said let's start a project? Like how did the name come about and how did the art come about?
That was like a period of time where we were bouncing around a lot of ideas, none of which were very good. And then there was this like 3 a.m. I remember or it was like around midnight, and I like messaged Gargan. I'm like, we'd eventually come. No, let me back up a bit. We'd eventually come to a point where we thought the market was starting to dry up and die out in NFTs, and it actually was. It was entering into like a little bear market for a minute. We were like, oh gosh, it used to be that like for a period of time there, you could put up any picture on the internet essentially, and attach it to Ethereum, and it was going to sell. But suddenly projects weren't selling out. We started to think, okay, well, we need to attach some utility to this. We need to start thinking more broadly in what we can do with this technology. And we had this idea for like a very highfalutin artboard idea where it was like, okay, if you own an NFT, and we were imagining that these were going to be like Miro or Mondrian-esque, like paintings. If you owned one of them, you would have access to a drawing board where you could drop a pixel like every 5 minutes or something like that. And we're like, oh, and people create collaborative art and it'll be beautiful and whatever. And then that night that we had the idea, or a little bit after the idea, I call an old friend of mine, Nicole Muniz, who ended up becoming our CEO later, someone I've known since I was 15 years old. And I was telling her the idea, and she's like, yeah, but you're kind of an idiot because like the very first thing that someone's going to draw on this pixel board is going to be a dick. And I was like, oh yeah. And that ended up being true, by the way, that the very first thing drawn on the pixel board was indeed a dick. And we were like, oh, this is not like a highfalutin, high art, fancy thing, which also wasn't. It was the internet, right? And so we were like, okay, what is this then? And we're like, where would someone draw a dick? And we were like, oh, it's like a dive bar bathroom wall. That's where you draw a dick. And then so we started thinking about like the places we'd grown up here in Miami. And then it kind of like sprawled from there, from thinking about, well, okay, if we're going to make something, let's not make something inauthentic to ourselves. Let's make something like a place that we're going to go. And then it kind of the club model formed around that. And it was late at night. It was like midnight. And I messaged you. I'm like, I'm going to write you an essay with a crazy idea. And in that had the words Bored Ape Yacht Club, and had a bunch of like imagery of like CBGBs and Andy Warhol's factory, and just like, an aesthetic that felt really cool and interesting to us from like 1969 New York. And it just felt like the kind of club that we would want to be a part of. And from there, like, we just tried to make it more like ourselves. We like, at first the idea for the yacht club, the exterior of the image had was like, decrepit, like Bayside Miami kind of old yacht club. And then eventually we thought it was even cooler to put it in the Everglades and like make it ramshackle and secret, like this, like, special place that you would have to find. And then Bored Apes, of course, came from the idea of these like crypto Twitter personalities who to us seemed like Bored Apes. To ape into crypto or in trading communities, you can even see how popular it is just from like, I think it's AMC is now doing their own like stock that's like ape. That's going to be the ticker symbol. It just means to like not do your due diligence and just go hard into some kind of asset. It's like go ape shit essentially.
It's like the full send thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
True, it is, right?
Little collab. Well, I guess we have.
Yeah, we already.
This is great, by the way.
Yeah,
I normally don't like banana flavored things, but this is actually sick.
That's the thing. We didn't want it to be a gimmick too. Like once we tasted banana, then we're like, all right, we're doing this.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. It was good by accident.
Yeah,
like, it was supposed to be, let's just put the ape on a box. I'll be honest, guy gave me the idea.
Nice.
We bought. I think it was back in November, December. We bought apes, and then we, Happy Dad, the LC, bought an ape, and we just bought it. Like, we just bought it, and I sent it to the guy. I was like, hey, Happy Dad also bought an ape, and he's like, well, you should make a drink out of it, or throw it, or he just said put it on one of your cans. And then that's when the idea just went, all right, well, what if we did a specific flavor? It takes a while. It takes like 6 months to come up with new flavors and cans and all this stuff, and then distributors and then licenses, all that. So the idea started back in December, and then it's actually ironic we're with you guys today. Today it just came out.
It's incredible. Congrats, guys. This is
literally today. Like,
we did 10,000 cases only. And now it's like they're already gone.
They're going to be collector's items then.
Yeah, they're going to be collector items. They're gone, but I think we're going to make it a permanent flavor eventually because everyone likes it. Like, we got two legends here. One thing, Kyle, myself, Steve, and my brother think of sometimes like, all right, we have access to gas stations, convenience stores, grocery stores. What else can we do? Do we do another liquor? No, this is crushing it. Let's focus on this. So then we're like, what else do people buy at gas stations? And it's a beef jerky. So amazing. We have so we bought 4 more. This guy's an original one. Sergeant Pepper is pepper flavor.
Amazing.
This guy with the bloodshot red eyes is spicy.
Perfect.
A little too spicy for him. And then we got teriyaki.
Oh yeah, I love it.
So there's a new product that we have that's going to come out the end of this year. And going back to we want to take these products. We're going to do something with our NFT holders that can't really get into it yet because of details, but something where our NFT holders will be a big part of this.
And you guys are going to do great just based on how popular you guys are and how awesome you guys are making the products, obviously. But what's so cool about like the intellectual property of Bored Apes in particular is like we've seen people who had no following essentially utilize the commercial license to great success because there's this cool feedback loop that's happening in Web3 where like there was this like fast food franchise that started in LA called Bored and Hungry, right?
It's crushing,
right? And it was
Long
like,
Beach.
but like on opening day, lines around the block because all of Web3 wanted to support it, right? So like all these NFT people, all these crypto people were just like, yeah, let's try it. And it ended up being a great burger. And so they're going to be super successful, I think.
I heard he's opening up more.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Andy,
yeah.
shout out. This is my buddy Andy. I'm proud of him.
You guys
you're
did
part of it.
meetups too, didn't you? In New York. And
So we've done 2 Ape Fests.
what do those look like?
Well, the first one was kind of like we just pieced it together with guys help a lot, by the way.
Yeah, in like 2 months,
and
we
like
just like figured it out.
We had like 1,000 person or 2,000 person yacht in
New York
Manhattan,
City.
in New York
Yeah.
City.
2,000 person?
Yeah, or something.
Fuck.
Was it 1,000 or 2,000?
I think it was
Sorry, I don't remember. I
forget.
honestly
It's
don't
been
remember.
like it's been almost
been
a year since that.
And then we had a big venue. We had a community meetup space. It was a lot, and we had like Strokes and Little Baby played, and it was pretty wild.
Oh yeah, I
But that for
remember
like
that.
especially considering like the project, I don't even think was a year old that time, and of course
No, it was like 5 months old.
5 months old. With Greg and I had no experience running events whatsoever,
Yeah,
so obviously
yeah,
we relied a lot on guys' expertise then. But still, one of our co-founders, Sass, was also someone who was just figuring out how to run major events for the first time.
Yeah, he was
And we
just a
figured it
software
out.
engineer that got
So-
thrown
yeah,
into this
it's
shit.
crazy,
All right,
crazy.
let's go.
It's
And
not
for the
easy.
longest time, we were like, in January, we were 11 people. Like now you get 75. Like we're scaling
This
up
January?
like crazy. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
You were 11?
Yeah.
11 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many on the initial launch of the project?
4.
4?
Just the 4 co-founders: Tomato, Garga, myself, and Sass.
Yeah.
And what were like the different roles upon like launching or like to get to launch?
Karem and Zishan, Tomato and Sass, they came from as software engineers, and there's actually kind of a funny story for that.
Yeah, because basically the story was when, all right, I contacted Gordon to like, hey, let's do this. We'd been in crypto together since 2017. Like we both understood the opportunity. But obviously we needed technical help to get this thing done. And so, the strategy wasn't much more sophisticated than me being like, oh, I think like JavaScript's important here. And I call up Karem, Tomato, and I'm like, oh, do you know any JavaScript? And he's like, yeah, it's like 90% of my job. And I'm like, perfect. Look at this. Let's figure out how to make like something on the blockchain together. And he texts me back like 15 minutes later. He's like, this has nothing to do with JavaScript.
Yeah.
What are you even talking about? And I was like, okay, well, you learn Solidity, which is the more important thing. But anyway, so basically we just contacted any friend we knew that studied computer science in college, basically, and was like, let's put together a team for this. And they were super down. And like everybody was just working nights and weekends on trying to put this together from nothing.
So they came in more as engineers. We came in more from a creative and strategy perspective. But we kind of met all on the same page with everything before launching. And since then, we've it's been much more collaborative.
What were your like initial goals when you guys all get together? What are you guys trying to accomplish with the whole project?
Like for me, it was just like,
Yeah, what did you guys like kind of expect?
honestly, like 2020, obviously we had the lockdown with COVID. I was working as a book editor at the time, working 10, 12 hours a day as a senior editor at a book publisher, and just wanted had this idea of like, I want to start my own thing, like not be relying on, a paycheck kind of thing. And so for me, it was more modest at the time. It was just like, I just want to make something with my friends. And if it makes some money, like awesome. And I think I purposely went to Gordon for it though, because like, that's our dynamic is like, I think like what's achievable, what can we do? Like how do, like, I was a book editor and a poet. I always want to make things like simple and like bold. And he's like, I want to make it fucking crazy and take over the world. And we meet somewhere in the middle.
It's a good combo.
It is a good
Yeah.
combo.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
editor.
So you
and
were
writer
like, this
or
is like, we got to fuck
yeah, I
this
mean,
shit
so
up.
my backstory here is that like
You're like the good cop, bad cop.
It's good
type
cop,
of-
bad
Yeah.
cop,
But that
absolutely.
every day, all day.
Yeah, sorry about that, buddy.
Yeah.
So my backstory was I got really sick in college. I have an autoimmune disease called colitis, and I was like basically bed to bathroom for 10 years, like really, really ill. Lost 10 years of my life, and I had kind of started to basically miraculously recover through the help of Western and Eastern medicine. Probably a couple months before Garga texted me, let's make an NFT. That was like literally what he said, let's make an NFT. And so I don't know if you quite realize just how much fire had been building up for me for 10 years. And so yeah, I came into this thinking I want to build something extraordinary. You know, I don't just want to like, you know, do something for just a brief moment. It wasn't just for fun for me. I was thinking like, okay, I want to make my mark on the world a little bit. And I was also obsessed with online communities. You know, like, you know, when you're sick for 10 years, you know, it's like in your 20s, you know, it's like, you don't really have a real life outside of your digital life.
That's why we just play World of Warcraft.
That's why we'd play World of Warcraft. Or that's why I got into crypto, because it was like something I could do from bed, basically. I also played a ton of video games outside of World of Warcraft. I was on Twitch. I was on YouTube, you know, just like being a part of online communities on Discord. Just like that was my home, you know? That was like my version of the metaverse, you know? It was the way I could experience reality and not feel bad, basically, about myself. And so Bored Ape Yacht Club in particular, but, you know, the rest of the things that we're doing at Yuga Labs really became an opportunity for me to build and help foster online communities that I thought, you know, would push the space forward, communities that I myself would want to be a part of.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What happened on that launch day?
That was crazy.
So like there were a couple days there where like, you know, we started off and we had like our pre-sale. We were giving away 1 Ethereum at the time to somebody who could like solve some really shitty like puzzles that were on our site that like, you know, we hired someone to help come up with. And basically everybody who was in our Discord at the time, like, you know, up until these things were going to be for sale, had no interest in the project. They were just there to like try and win this money. And we were like, okay, this isn't going too hot. Like, that's okay though. Like, you know, we're trying to market the shit out of it any way we could. One of the ways we did that is we started making like, Bored Apes that look like certain influencers. Like if there's somebody, you know, whose profile picture on the internet was like this anime girl with pink hair, we're like, let's do like a BAYC version of this person and tweet it out at them and try and get some attention that way.
Was there anybody specific you guys chose to do that with?
It wasn't really anyone like...
It was just like crypto Twitter people.
It was just like random people. It was just like anyone who we thought might, you know, laugh at it or retweet it or something. You know, I don't know. It was like a smorgasbord.
Because we were
like,
starting from zero. Like we had zero audience. We had zero followers. Like we were just trying to like, how do we
It's pretty smart
this?
though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'd seen it done before. It wasn't like our original idea. We'd, you know, to be fair.
But we just went, you know, like everything, we were like, how do we take this to the next level? How do we go harder with it? Like we got to, you know, give away Ethereum. We got to tweet this out. We got to make this cheaper than anything's been out there before. We have to make it so everybody's buying it at the same price, which isn't how these things were selling before that.
What was mint price?
It was 0.08 ETH, which was around $200 per ape.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine
I got some angry friends who
Yeah,
like, why didn't you tell me to buy an ape for $200, you ass?
That's good though, because there's probably some like random people that bought it that couldn't afford it what it is now, right?
That's exactly right.
Stuff like that.
That's exactly right. Like, you know, the model was we wanted to make this egalitarian because before us, a lot of the NFTs around then were being priced on a bonding curve, essentially. So it ended up being kind of like a fucking Ponzi, frankly, because it was like the first person to buy one got one for less than the person who was the last person to buy one. So it became like people who got in early dumping on people who got later. But that didn't foster a community whatsoever because it was like, it made it like competitive. It made it like, oh, we're against each other in a sense. You know, like you're literally trading against each other. So we priced them all at $200 to make sure that this was truly a club, like truly an egalitarian membership. So it didn't matter if you minted a gold ape or if you minted a floor ape. You know, it didn't matter. Your utility, your membership was the same.
Yeah, the token was always supposed to represent like your entrance into this club. And like day one, what the club was, it was a digital space where you could play on this pixel board like we're talking about. But we wanted to have open the possibility of like more and more stuff. And then if you had just one ape, then you got access to everything. And it didn't matter if it was a good ape or a, you know, a cheap one or an expensive one.
They're all good apes.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
So when you did the mint, how quickly did it go?
Well, so we had a pre-sale that lasted a week. And again, as Garga was saying, it basically
flopped kind of.
Flopped.
Yeah, it was like 400 sold.
You know, and we did everything we could to promote it as much as possible.
400 in a week?
Yeah.
400 or 500, but the thing is back then, you either sold out like immediately or you kind of never did is what the feeling was. Yeah. So, you know, it wasn't like 400 in a week. Oh, we did it. It was like, oh, this might never happen. And so
you got kind of despondent.
I was like, shit, you know.
And I call you like really angry, being like, no, we got to go. We got to go.
You were ready to quit?
I wasn't ready to quit. I was just like, fuck, like what's happening? I wasn't going
to
quit.
How soon were you ready to quit though? A weekend?
No, well, this was after like 3 months of nonstop,
shit.
you know, working on this and
It tweeted like 100 people already.
Yeah, just like going
anything
hard.
we could do. And some of the early community members in particular were just so amazingly helpful. There's three in particular that I recall that, they had, they knew some people in crypto, and they saw the vision for what we were trying to build here, and they, hesitantly, believed in what we were trying to do. And so they would reach out to people, and that I think moved the needle a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it really wasn't until
What was the turning point?
the apes revealed, right? So pre-sale, you didn't get to see what you had. It was
Right.
kind of like that,
you
that
owned
moment.
one, but it was like you didn't know which one it was. You couldn't empathize with it yet. It was just like you owned one of 10,000 apes. You didn't know like, it's this guy. Actually.
Right.
And somehow that little magic part of like, basically like cracking it open and saying like, oh, that one's mine, and people can identify with that.
How
It's like
long
that-
was that though between the purchase and the reveal?
It was just a week there.
A week, and then the reveal, they sold out within like I think 4 or 6 hours.
Once they were revealed, it was flying off.
A madhouse.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
we
Crazy.
flipped Uniswap at the time, which was like to us mind blowing.
No.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I mean that was the moment when people saw the apes. It's kind of like the way I think about it is like I think some people like equate it to slot machines, and I don't think that's accurate. I think it's more like Toys R Us. You go and there's like those machines where you get like the little characters or whatever, and it's like you don't know which one you're going to get when you put in the quarter and
Yeah.
spin it
Yeah,
and
yeah,
see what you're going to get. I think that it's
A
like
week's
that.
a little sweat though. Like
Yeah.
you're sitting there, you're like, oh, I want to see this fucking guy.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
So at the time, Mutant Apes Kennel Club, were they part of the roadmap yet, or were they?
We had a vision, not the Kennel Club. The
came
mutants.
later.
The mutants were a vision for the end of the roadmap for sure. And we kind of knew what we were going to do there, and that took a long time to build. We were like working on that throughout pretty much from the moment we sold out. I started working on mutants almost instantaneously with a couple of amazing artists.
Yeah, we hit like if you go to the website in the back of like the inside of the bar, there was this Mutant Ape arcade machine that we put there, and it was just the idea of this like I don't know, this metafiction of like, oh, there's this weird arcade machine, this is like magical machine that's going to do something to the apes, like you got to kind of wait and see. And we really just wanted to blow people's minds with like how crazy different the art would be than the originals too.
So what
Mutant Ape sold the other day for like 3.9 million or something.
I think it was one of the
One of
mega
the
mutants. I think it
megas,
was,
yeah.
Was that
it
what
was,
that
yeah,
was?
almost 4 million. Yeah,
It was like 2 days ago.
Oh, a mutant ape did?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Mega
It
Mutants.
was
Yeah.
fucking dope
Wild.
though.
yeah, it's a great
yeah,
mega
yeah,
mutant.
that
The
one was
trippy
trippy
one.
one,
It's
yeah.
so good.
Yeah,
So good.
yeah.
Shout
What-
out Lovins, who is the artist behind that
So
one.
you guys sell out on the Bored Apes and you go right into Mutant Apes?
We start
No.
working on them, but it was like a huge
Huge
project.
endeavor for us.
But really, there was a lot of like small things we did in between then, where it was like, I think the first kind of moment was a month later, we did our first merch drop, and it was the idea.
What was the floor at that time? Like a month later.
I don't even
You
know.
remember?
I have no idea.
I mean, it was pretty steadily rising. I mean, there'd be like little dips or whatever. But honestly, I'd be completely frank with you. We'd never look at the floor price, like ever.
Ever.
Ever. I don't care. I just, like, it's not a part of like why we're doing
Explain that reasoning.
this. I'm not trying to build something to increase its value. I'm just trying to increase. Or if I'm building something, it's not to raise the floor price of the thing. I'm literally just doing it because I want to have fun.
Well, if you like focus on that part of it, it's kind of a loser's game. I think it's like if
Yeah.
you're focused on that, maybe you can make it go up for a little while,
Yeah.
but then it's going to just come
100%.
crashing down. So you
Yeah.
got to just think about like
Building.
utility, the community building, everything else, and that
Yeah.
part will sort itself
Yeah,
out.
like
If
the
you-
fun, community, utility. Those are the things that matter here. And I remember really recently we had like a friend who's a founder in the space reach out to us, and he was like, I just don't know how to get the floor price of my project to go up. I'm like, don't think about that. Go take mushrooms in the forest and think about something cool you could do with the project instead. Like,
Because it's just such a new space. So if, like you can do something weird with an NFT that hasn't been done before, I think the space will reward that.
Yeah.
And so
there's like a world of opportunity in terms of utility here. I mean, like, I feel like people, like, we've just like opened the door there. Like, it's really endless.
Yeah, that we talk about that too. It's beautiful that we could pretty much write our own rules.
Did you guys have any like crazy reaction when you see one of the big first celebrities buy in and then there's just this domino effect of
Yeah, who was the first?
It was pretty crazy. I think like
we had a
Was
few
it Post Malone?
throughout that whole summer.
Post came way later. I mean, like,
really?
But, like, I saw
I saw
honestly,
Jimmy
early on, there was
Fallon bought one.
Jimmy
Yeah, that
Fallon
was-
bought one. That was
later,
pretty
too.
wild.
I think Steph Curry was
that was the moment.
Yeah, that was
'Cause-
so crazy.
Oh yeah.
Because that was
a
I think
big
he even
jump.
popped into our Discord.
He
for a
was
moment.
before
He
post?
popped into the Discord?
Yeah, and I think
he was.
Shaq did too. And those are the
Holy
two guys
shit.
where I was like,
Shaq's always
oh
first.
fuck,
That's
like
crazy.
we've kind of made it. Like this is real now on a whole nother level.
There's a whole domino effect.
What's Steph's username on Discord?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I think, honestly, I think he just popped in there like
Just to say hi.
How
Yeah.
crazy was the fucking Discord?
Yeah,
Wow.
it was wild. It was
Yeah,
wild.
that's insane.
Our
I think
Discord
it was
is so
the
fun.
day that we were dropping mutants, and so we weren't even like we were so focused on everything else and somebody just like started getting texts, and I was like, what?
We're
What's
always like
happening here?
literally, I think, the last to know when a new celebrity joins too. It's
It goes so viral thoe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
but we're
who's
just busy,
bought it?
you know,
Like,
we're not,
I've seen-
on
We
Twitter
got
all
John's
day.
buddy, John's very close friend, Justin Bieber bought one. Well, his was 1.2 million.
I don't remember how much he bought it for.
I love Bieber's Ape, the Lonely Ape.
Yeah.
So
well,
good.
that's what because people were, giving him a hard time. Like, you overpaid.
Yeah, who cares?
And I asked him about it, and that's what he said. He said he looked lonely.
He
That's
wanted
why I
that
wanted
one.
to
You know,
buy it.
it's
he wanted
like
that one.
NFT space.
And
can
the
be
number,
weird
right?
sometimes.
There's something there with the number for him that like it's
Yeah, he just told me he looked lonely. He said, I feel like
Okay.
he looked sad and lonely, and he needed a friend. Is what he told me.
Yeah.
If he wants it, he gets it. And
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah,
It's like he wants the ape that he wants. Yeah.
yeah.
Have
think
any
it's great.
celebs tried to like finesse like a free ape out off you guys?
Well, we don't own any apes, right? I only own one ape, right? So it's all like that was another thing that we like did kind of differently than other projects at the time. Like early on in NFTs, like CryptoPunks, and there's nothing. This is not to besmirch them at all. This was just their model. You know, it was like, well, rather, there weren't really like prominent marketplaces like OpenSea at the time that were charging you could charge like a secondary percentage off. So every time a Bored Ape gets sold, we take a small percent of that, right? On marketplaces, right? It's 2.5% on Bored Apes, to be clear. Another model in the early days was, okay, we could just withhold a bunch of them. And so those become assets for us if, the price increases, right? We didn't do that. We thought like, well, no, for what we're doing, it doesn't make a lot of sense because we're trying to create this egalitarian club. We want as many club members as possible. The only thing that like really mattered to us, since we didn't really think about floor price was the unique wallet holder count, right? Like so that like actually this was decentralized as much as possible, distributed as much as possible, I should say.
Yeah, if you have 10,000 apes and 10,000 unique holders, like that's the grail in our opinion. Which it's so we have like double the unique wallets or maybe more than punks to this day.
Yeah.
But
so sometimes someone will reach out to us and be like, hey, I want to get an ape. And I'm like, cool, go on the marketplace.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I saw there's some unique things that people are doing. There's like a band, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
there's,
yeah.
So that has nothing to do with you
you
guys.
gotta-
Seth Green's now doing a TV show with his Bored Ape where he's playing the character. And I saw a trailer from VCon when he promoted it, and it was amazing looking. There's Non-Fungible Films. It's another project that's kicking off. They're trying to, because like the cool thing about this is like, yeah, you can utilize the IP, and that's awesome. But then there's this whole other side of it, which is like, okay, if you start your own project in relationship to the IP, there's another project called like Jenkins the Valet, for instance, that like ended up raising like over $100 million from VCs, and like they're basically creating like a platform for decentralized storytelling.
I don't
mean,
think
like,
that's how much there's
Okay,
valuation or whatever.
I might not know
Gargoyle's
the value of it.
Kingship is the one.
Kingship,
With the
absolutely.
Universal
For sure.
Music.
Music.
We know that
Raised
we're
their
just
value.
like on
Yeah.
screen and we're like,
Yeah, she's Celine Joshua is the one at Universal Music. She's like, I think she joined the team a few years ago to run innovation, and now I think she's running Web3 for Universal. And she's always the one, and she's the one. I got to give her credit. Like she's the one that's been working with like Snoop and Nick Adler a while ago to get them, and like she goes to artists. Her whole job, she reports directly to the president of Universal, Lucian Grange, or the chairman, and her whole job is to like break innovation, and that's why she's all about apes. So
yeah, she's been incredible.
And she's a killer. I mean, she's doing an amazing job.
Yeah, so she's one of, and it's pretty nice to see someone like her, like going in and. Because people think she's crazy, right? When she's talking about these things,
it's hard to take an incumbent company
coming
to
in like,
innovate
hey,
on that level.
we should, invest in $1 million in apes, and like,
No, I think it's
looking at her like she's
visionary. I
crazy.
think it's like it's comparable to like, people think it's crazy. Like gamers in particular don't understand NFTs right now. I think, or like gamers, like in the sense of like Call of Duty or whatever. They're like, but that's completely going to change. Like in all these industries, like people are going to understand the utility of this down the road. I think because NFTs imply a lot of things, but one of it is ownership, right? It's like if I'm playing a game, like if you played old like Diablo, right?
Sure.
And it's like, let's say that game no longer exists. Let's say like they turn off the switch. I see this on TikTok all the time. It's like the last days of an MMORPG, and it's like because the company just wasn't making enough money 14 years later, and they're just going to turn off the switch, and that server's gone. And you see players who devoted like 14 years of their lives to a game, made friends, relationships, maybe met their spouse in the game. It's like, and suddenly it's like, nope, this is gone now. It's like, because there was no real ownership, right? Like
I'm
you didn't own
surprised-
the character or your inventory
Right.
or your home that you built or anything. NFTs completely changed that model.
Yeah.
If you look at like, what is it? Riot made $4 billion last year. $2 billion last year selling cosmetics in League of Legends. Epic made $4 billion selling cosmetics in Fortnite. All of that value goes in. None of it's coming back out.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, right? And it's like, NFTs completely changed that model.
I was gonna say I'm kind of surprised you can't. It'd be cool, like in Fortnite's a game where you could do it, where you could play as your NFT. I'm surprised
Absolutely.
you can't do that yet.
Yeah, why? And so that's what we're building on the other side, our metaverse. But when we can get into that as well. But I mean, the idea here is like interoperability. It's like you should be able to like build an asset,
Yeah.
you know, in a SDK, software developer kit, and create your thing. And then if you want to play on it there, great. If you want to take it somewhere else, great. It's
Yeah,
yours.
that's where shit gets
When do you think
crazy.
technology will like connect like that, where like someone can buy an NFT and then put their shirt on their character? And
I
like,
think it's actually,
I think it's happening very
It's
quickly.
happening?
Yeah.
And I think the trick is, I think a lot of major game companies are very interested in it, but it's hard, like you were saying, for a big incumbent company to start innovating on that level. And I think that's like, you know,
when it does, it'll be
That's where you
huge
come in.
though.
that's where
Yeah.
we come in. It's like we already have the hardcore NFT community that wants to see this, that can understand the value proposition there, you know. And when Ubisoft or somebody likes that tries to start getting into NFTs, then there's like 20 Reddit threads that like with, you know, the NFTs are terrible and blah, blah, blah. And they don't quite understand the value proposition there. Whereas we do, and we can kind of emanate out from that place of power and
You
get
guys-
people interested
You
in
guys
it.
get a lot of big companies coming to you, like help us out.
Yeah.
Because we get it. I can't imagine what you guys get.
Yeah, we get a lot of inbound. Yeah.
But especially
I'm
you
sure
guys,
you
you
guys
guys
get a
are
lot,
like
but
the,
yeah, but
the
not like
leaders
you.
of the space. So it's like, I could only imagine how many people are trying to get advice from you guys. And
Yeah. Again, we're working a lot. You know, I mean, this is, we work like 12, 14-hour days often. And I would say like 90% of our job right now is just to say no to people,
Yeah.
frankly. It's a lesson.
got
I've had to
90%
learn.
of our
Stay
job is to
focused.
grow the company. That's what I spend all my day
Yeah.
doing.
Okay. Well, 90% of my job is saying no.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. You got to stay focused.
Good cop, bad cop. I like
Yeah.
That's
it.
right. That's right.
One of the other things, though, going back to like ownership, is one thing you guys did differently with CryptoPunks was allowing the changing the IP ownership,
Yeah.
right? And that changed the game with CryptoPunks, which was their issue with apes, going against apes first. Like, wait, I don't own the IP here. I'm buying ape. Then you guys changed that up after your acquisition of CryptoPunks.
Yeah, I mean, look, like Matt and John, the creators of CryptoPunks, the guys from Larva Labs, they're absolute geniuses, visionaries. Like, you know, to come up with the model that they did at that time is
Revolutionary.
amazing.
Yeah.
The reality is the markets have changed a bit. There's like new dynamics, things that like OpenSea has introduced. And yeah, when we met with them and talked about the idea of us acquiring CryptoPunks from them, that was something that we would only have done it if we could do exactly what you said, where we're owning this thing, but at the same time making it a bit more decentralized now, making it so anybody can own the IP of the, you know, has a license to use their punk in any commercial way that they want, essentially.
why did you guys want to buy CryptoPunks and like Meebits and stuff?
Punks is like, it's like the Mona Lisa of like, you know, or like early cave paintings of like NFTs, in our opinion. It's like the first true iteration. If like you preserve the legacy of that thing into the future, then it's good for the whole ecosystem.
Mm.
And frankly, it was like thinking about who else might own it. It was like,
That
I think
scared
we
us a
could-
little bit.
That
Yeah.
scared us a little bit.
Yeah.
And so we were like, let's,
But why though?
Just
we
'cause
don't,
it's
you know, if
competition.
it gets really kitchy or like
Yeah.
they damage
goal
the
is to
brand
take
in
over
some
the
way.
world.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. It's kind of interesting because you guys are kind of like, you own what? Mutant Apes, CryptoPunks.
Meebits.
So you guys
other
own
side.
like the biggest players.
Yeah, we own I think
Is there any
5% of
negative
the
that
entire.
comes from that though? Of
I mean-
owning if the two guys own the biggest projects in the space.
We
there's
don't
some
want
of
to
the-
take any more market share from anybody else. Like the
Yeah.
whole goal here is like, how do we grow the pie? You know,
Got
we're
it.
25% of the pie. Cool. Let's grow the pie. How do we do that? There's a lot of work that needs to be done, like infrastructure wise. It needs to be safer. It needs to be more secure. If my mom wanted to buy a Bored Ape, you know, you could wait until the end of the world right now. She wouldn't be able to figure it out. Like it's just not that easy yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can do that kind of work for these communities to kind of broaden things and open it up. And exactly, like we just want everybody to win.
Got
And if
it.
we can make those kind of tools so everybody has an easier time of it,
Yeah.
the better.
You guys also you guys raised money from Andreessen recently a lot, right?
Not just Andreessen,
well,
but yeah,
the big
they-
group. I mean,
yeah,
four, what,
they led it.
$450 million?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
raised it a $4 billion valuation.
That's a
Yeah.
shit ton of money.
That's a lot, yeah.
What's kind
So
of
so Yuga Labs is worth $4 billion
Currently.
At our last valuation, yeah.
And when was the LLC made on Zoom?
So it was like a year and 2 months, a year and a month.
A year and a month, and it's
Bro,
worth
I think-
$4 billion.
Yeah.
That's fucking
It
ridiculous.
was the largest seed round in human history, I believe. I don't
Well,
know.
for you know, US seed round valuation, I think.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
anyway.
another friend of mine, old
Holy
friend of mine, Chris
shit,
Lyons,
that's crazy.
sits on the board. And,
Yeah.
I love
Chris is
Chris.
great.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah.
We were talking to him earlier today. He's
Yeah.
Chris, an old friend of mine. We lived in San Francisco together. But kind of like, what's the plan with that, right? Because I mean, with that kind of money, you guys got some shit up your sleeve, right? Like you're building something.
They're building
More.
a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really speak too much on what we're building, but you know, I can say that Other Side is a huge passion project here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's an
Is there
incredibly
anything- yeah.
ambitious
It's
project. you know.
ridiculously
Is there
ambitious.
anything you could tell us about the goals for that?
I mean, it's just kind of like we were saying earlier, like the idea of growing up and playing these like in these virtual worlds, like World of Warcraft, these other things, that was like the original metaverse. It wasn't like kind of like what Meta's going out there with. We're like, you're in a conference room and you have no legs and you're hanging out or whatever. It was like, no, you're just like playing a game and you're meeting people that you would have deep relationships with for years. And if you can recreate some of those spaces, but have more ownership of your assets within them, if there's decentralized ways for people to like contribute to them, like the best stuff that's come out of games in the past 20 years is a lot of it's like mods and stuff that comes from the ground up. And then those same people are like, oh, smash subscribe to my YouTube or donate to my Patreon or whatever. There's no way for them to monetize that within the platform itself. They're just like asking for handouts for the good that they did. So blockchain offers like a more permissionless way to like align incentives, reward people for work they're doing on a platform rather than, this Patreon model. And I think it'll disrupt a lot of things that are happening out there where like, Apple takes 30% of everything that gets made on the App Store. Roblox takes a ton. Minecraft takes a ton. Like if you can be less greedy on that front and encourage more content, then the creators will flock there. And your mode is just that this is where the party's at.
So is the other side, do you think, like the main focus right now?
No, I think it's evenly distributed, frankly.
It's kind of where everything comes together, though.
It is.
We have teams working on all the brands, and that's what we're really trying to do is like,
So is it kind of like it's like a metaverse, like a game and like a marketplace? Is that like
we're going to be building out a game on other side, but no, I would view it more as a platform.
As a platform,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could think of it like NFT Roblox, but just that looks better.
Right. Yeah, I always felt that depiction of like the metaverse, like how they're showing it on like Facebook and all the viral things you see. Is that quite accurate to what metaverse is?
Yeah, like metaverse comes from like there was a sci-fi novel called Snow Crash, and then the other way that it became kind of popularized was from Ready Player One. I don't know if you guys read the book or saw the movie.
Yeah,
and both of those visions were fairly dystopian, I think. And it was this idea that like, we're going to exist in virtual worlds in the future, right? Like that's like that's like kind of the end point of the internet to one degree or another. And I do think that is fairly the end point of the internet, maybe, or at least the next evolution of it. But it doesn't have to be dystopian. It doesn't have to be weird. It doesn't have to be like we're sending our kids to like, online metaverse school and they're plugging in 15 years with Neuralink or whatever. So. Like, it doesn't have to be that. It could be something like, again, within the ethos of Bored Ape Yacht Club, it could be egalitarian. It could be fun. It could be primarily a platform for experimentation and games. So we kind of have this sort of like moral obligation in the back of our heads that's like, okay, we can be at the forefront of this thing to one degree or another, taking what we learned from MMORPGs and online communities and build something that helps shape what the metaverse becomes in the future, kind of like set the ground rules here. It's like, no. We're not going to say that a 40% rake on secondary sales is acceptable. We're saying, something like more like 2.5 or 5% is acceptable. And make the focus on fun rather than, let's go, live our entire lives digitally.
That's so interesting. That shit's going to be huge.
Yeah.
You guys own a bunch of land in the metaverse already? Crazy.
We do. Yeah. That was part of the goal here is like, this is a platform. And so we want to be able to incentivize, frankly, other big game companies, other people that are coming to us who want to build on this platform. Like, how do we get them invested into it? And so unlike with BAYC, we did reserve more NFTs for this than
I think one of the biggest things and the toughest thing to overcome, because like you guys said, you learned everything pretty much in the get-go from crypto Twitter. It's like, how do you educate normal people on this shit? Like,
I think it's part of this, right? It's like coming on podcasts, getting out there. I think it's like normalizing the space a little bit and sort of like helping people understand. It's like, I see every now and then like a very anti-NFT person being like, oh, monkey JPEGs or whatever. And just like, okay. But like, kind of like
people think it's a scam,
Yeah, I think it's a scam. I think it's a Ponzi or whatever. It's like, come in, look at a little bit of what we're building. Look at the ecosystem. Look at the utility here. Look at the intellectual property and understand that like, we're building something that's kind of never been done before.
Yeah, I think you gotta there's gotta be a way to kind of dumb it down for everybody.
I think it's just gonna be over time though. Like half our fan base, like I said, half of them will be like hardcore and they'll be like making fun of us because we're not asking you guys like more intelligent questions, and then half will be like they just don't even get it at all. So there's such a big gap I find just from talking to fans and meeting people.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but I think over time is the way that everyone will just be educated.
I completely agree.
Yeah. I think gaming is going to be a big way that happens. Like we were saying, like, billions of dollars a year accrue to these companies for digital assets that people want to own that they're kind of renting and they don't actually truly own. Like, like League of Legends makes like, a
So
couple
you
$1 billion
think-
a year off like Teemo skins
Yeah.
and shit.
You think like for example, like Call of Duty one day, like let's say I buy like an NFT of like a flamethrower. Do you think one day like Call of Duty will let you like pull from the blockchain and bring that flamethrower into the game or something?
I think,
Like, do you think it'll get to that
Yeah,
level?
that'd be crazy.
I think there's a couple different things that NFTs would bring to that. Number one, if you buy a skin in Fortnite or something like that, you don't know how many are out there and you can't really trade that. And that's an easy use case where it's like, you would know off the bat, hey, there's only 5,000 of these out in the world and I can trade it and I don't need anyone's permission to do that. It's not like if you like back in the day, you level up your character in World of Warcraft to 60 and you get bored, you want to sell it. You go to eBay and you try and sell it and maybe they like delete your eBay account or ban your World of Warcraft account, or you successfully sell it and then they ban that guy's account or whatever. Like there needs to, everywhere in business in the world, like things are tilting more in favor of users. And this is a natural place where users can get more out of the things that they're buying on a platform.
It's so crazy you say that too, because there's definitely people out there that have spent 5-10 grand on skins in Fortnite and nothing like in the
And no
metaverse.
ownership.
Or like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
in the
And they
abyss.
can't, I don't think, a lot of these platforms, they couldn't even give it away to a friend if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Like they can't trade
But they're
it or
willing to
whatever.
spend that
That
on
would be
Fortnite.
crazy if that happens.
To answer your question directly, I think
Yeah.
it's going to depend, like the Call of Duty question. I think it depends on the platform that's built on, right? It's like you can kind of see something like that potentially happening on Roblox, for instance. Although it's like that's not going to have like the fidelity of Call of Duty, but on a platform such as Other Side, right? Like you could build out a Call of Duty game theoretically on Other Side and have that level of interoperability.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
You guys know how many total unique wallets you have between all your projects?
Oh, I think we recently learned that.
I'm blanking, but
60,000, 70,000, 80,000. It's in that range.
Yeah. You guys have quite a community. That's kind of crazy, right? Like,
The community is amazing.
yeah.
Shout out to the whole Discord. They're like the best people in the world.
You guys did merch that crushed. I got mine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are there any like
Yeah.
unique concepts that people have with the apes that haven't hit yet that you guys have heard of, or anything that?
I
That's
mean,
a
we've
good
been
question.
seeing like cool stuff. I mean, like everything.
Yeah, alcohol.
Alcohol.
Well,
there
that you
go.
haven't seen
but
yet.
like, like
Seth Green's shit is
TV
dope.
shows.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Digital bands, like you were saying. I think that's
The burger shop in Long
the
Beach.
burger shop. Like the
Andrew
important
Knew.
part is that like
Snoop, what Snoop
it's
is
a
doing is very
permissionless
cool.
process.
Oh, yeah.
Like no
And
one needs our
Dr.
permission.
Bombay.
They just
Yeah,
need to own the
Dr.
ape,
Bombay.
and then they can do it.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of cool. You get your ape and then it's up to you to do your creative with it.
yeah,
It's just on you.
we
at
don't
that
want to be
point.
gatekeepers in that way, and that's where like the creativity lies.
What's the initial goal when you guys drop like ApeCoin? It's just like that's part of Yuga Labs. Is CryptoPunks going to drop a coin?
So that's born out of the ecosystem, and Yuga's like adopted it as something that we are, the currency for everything that we're building. But we're not in control of ApeCoin in any way. This is a DAO. This is a decentralized thing. Like we want to use ApeCoin as the currency for Other Side, for as many like in world, like real world, and also digital like things that we can do. It's just like the
I
currency.
saw
But
Gucci accepts it.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
wild.
How
I
weird
saw
is that?
Yeah,
Is that random? Or are you guys like, what the fuck? Like Gucci retailers accept ApeCoin?
it's sick. I
It's
mean,
like a
like
step in the right direction, though. I guess.
Yeah.
I know.
Drives adoption. I think it's great.
Yeah.
What was it that Tiffany did recently?
So Tiffany, did a drop of 250 like necklaces, like pendants, where if you owned a CryptoPunk, they'll make you like a bespoke custom, like, Tiffany necklace with your punk. And they're like, these are like, gold and jewels and like, it's Tiffany. It's like high quality shit.
Wow.
So,
And there's a limited edition of them, so it's really like an ultimate
and it's their
flex.
first
How much
thing
money?
in the space. So
The
it's
money,
like
how much?
I think
I mean,
they
it was
sold
probably
out like
ETH.
30 ETH. Yeah.
30 ETH.
It was
Wow.
pricey.
No,
So-
but total amount though. it was
250. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it was a 30 ETH, what is that? Like 55K probably at the time that they
but I mean,
did
for
it.
like a one of 250 personalized Tiffany pendant, I mean, it's
Yeah,
like
Tiffany sells things for $55,000.
So if you own a
like,
CryptoPunk,
it's not,
Yeah.
you get one of those automatically.
not all
No,
of that.
no,
No.
no.
This was something
it
that
was offered to
exclusively
CryptoPunks.
to punk
Yeah.
holders.
Got it.
still had to
Um,
buy it.
yeah.
But that goes back to what we were talking about earlier.
It's pretty cool.
Is the fact that
That wasn't a collab. That was something that they did with people who own the IP.
and they were able
Right.
to do it because they
Because-
changed that game with CryptoPunks allowing the holders to
That's right.
own the IP.
That's right. But yeah,
Like-
to
like
be clear,
Bored
we
Apes.
didn't have anything to do with that.
Like
just,
if we owned a
thought it was cool.
CryptoPunk before 6 months ago or a year ago, we wouldn't be able to. Even if you bought it and you bought it for $1 million, you weren't able to put it on beef jerky or alcohol.
Oh, got
and
it.
then
Yeah,
they
the
changed
IP.
their rules after their acquisition.
Right, because of the way the IP is set up, it's like any brand can come in and offer things exclusively to holders cryptographically. I mean, so you can cryptographically verify membership, right? So it's easy.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's just trying to like push forward like the amount of innovation, creativity in the space, like just free things up a little bit more.
That's why I like the physical stuff. Like I mean, how much money do like the Simpsons do outside of the Simpsons with video games and merch and all that? And my mom knows nothing about NFTs, but when I was telling her about apes once, she's like, "Oh, it's like the new Simpsons. It's like this generation Simpsons."
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, yeah, I guess it's like that. Yeah, you know,
I mean,
pop culturally, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Pop culture, it is like today's generation Simpsons.
Yeah, when we first started, I remember like our chief creative officer, Patrick, was like, "Oh, it's like the new smiley face." That's how he saw it. Like, remember the 70s smiley face T-shirts that was like captured the cultural zeitgeist in that way. And
the thing Forrest Gump came up with, right?
Yeah.
He came up with the smiley face.
Oh, is that really?
No, in the movie, like, remember, like, there was like a splash on his T-shirt and made a smiley face.
Oh,
and
right,
then
right.
Take credit. Tom Hanks took credit for the smiley face.
What do you guys think about like I know the whole market's down, but what do you think about the slight, like, is there like a disinterest in NFTs as a whole right now? Or like, what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's been like, there's less, it's less crazy than it had been, but like, I don't know. We feel like we're doing great. Things are fine out there, and that we can keep building. We, like you said, we have a pretty big war chest from our raise.
And we had a pretty big war chest from before then too.
Yeah. And so like, these things
You guys
happen
had
in
a fucking
cycles.
massive war chest before too, right?
Yeah, we're a very profitable company. And so, but one of the reasons we raised, right, was we were thinking like, because we'd been around in 2017, we'd seen what happens with these market cycles. And we're like, okay, let's ensure that we're like extraordinarily well capitalized and send a signal that like, hey, we're going to be around no matter what happens. 3-year, 4-year bear market, we're building, right? Like we have the runway to last.
Yeah.
That was very important to us. And then also there was like, just frankly, like A16Z is like an extraordinary strategic advisor. It's like these VCs some of them are like amazing to have on your side.
Is there like a main office right now?
We have an office in New York, but there really isn't centralized. We were born out of COVID, so
Right.
we're really all over. We have people in LA, Austin, New York, South America, Europe. We're everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what does the future look like? What's the next steps for Bored Ape Yacht Club, everything CryptoPunks? Is there anything in the works?
I mean, we just want to keep embracing all the things that have, been successful as it is. It's like more places where it's not just an NFT and it gives you access to in-world events, digital spaces, gaming interoperability, like giving more things for communities to play with and build on top of. For BAYC in particular, I think like the merch stuff is like really key to the brand, the streetwear aspects to it. And we have a lot of like things some exciting stuff in the pipeline for that in particular.
You guys do a collab with Adidas, right?
We did.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It was great.
Yeah,
It was
dude.
great.
How did
Adidas
that
was
come
awesome.
about?
Yeah,
That came about very early on too.
Tell
which
that
is what
story.
it's like
Super
wow,
organically. I think they were just fans. They reached out. I mean,
via the Discord.
So what
via the
hap-
Discord.
It was
That
like
was like a year
a
ago this
deep-
time, I think, right? It
It
was
was
fall
Ben,
2021.
So someone from Adidas hopped in the Discord. What'd they say?
Yeah, we just got like DMs and they were like, oh, like that they were with Adidas and that they wanted to like work with us on a metaverse project essentially is what
And
they
I think they
How
were like,
crazy was that?
well, I think like the people who were behind it, there's one guy, Ben in particular, who was just like an NFT fan. I think he'd owned a Bored Ape and he was just like, this is really exciting. I'm going to take this to the higher ups and show them what we can do here. And he came about it really organically, really like with the community in mind. And it was a super successful project because of that, right? Like unlike like brands that sometimes come into the space and it's just a cash grab. They're not really investing in the
a lot of
ecosystem.
brands they'll want to just like take, they'll be like, oh, we're a big brand, we do physical products, but for our NFT thing, we're just going to do an NFT and they're not bringing their core competency into it at all.
Yeah.
Whereas Adidas from the start was like, hey, they're a, athletic brand. They wanted to actually like make product and come at this authentically and like bring their expertise into it. And so that's why we were like, okay, this is legit. Like, let's go.
And it was more than us too. It was 2 other projects. It was
Pixel
Pixel
and
and G-Money.
Yeah.
So they really just like were like trying to showcase this like, hey, we're doing this for the whole NFT community.
I mean, to build a brand that quickly and do a collab with Adidas is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but
We went
considering
through
that like
with
our
UFC.
first merch drop was boxed up in Greg's mom's backyard last summer, just the 4 founders. Because I was so dumb that I was like, no, we could just like ship it. We could do the fulfillment ourselves, guys. Like, this is no big deal. And I'm like, meanwhile, I'm like sweating fucking bricks. Like, this was the worst idea I ever
That's
had.
how everybody starts, though.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like, there's like great photos of us just like boxing because I couldn't even come inside because it was like during COVID and his mom wouldn't even let me inside.
Oh,
and it was just
shit.
like we're just out
Just
sweating.
Sticky kids in the backyard.
Sticky kids in the backyard boxing up.
Twitter and Instagram, like they haven't really gone to Web3 route. I mean, the most anyone's done is like Twitter created
Profile
the
picture
octagon.
shit?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
octagon profile pic. Like that's the.
Are you guys
all these
fans of the
companies-
octagon? I feel like it's kind of more sauce if you don't do the octagon.
I don't do it personally, but
It's kind of like trying too hard.
I
It's like, bro,
I kind of do like it to a certain extent. What I don't like about it is that they charge for it, right? Like that to me was like, why did you
That's kinda
monetize
crazy,
that?
yeah.
Like, why didn't you roll this out just like for free? Like, this wasn't like it felt like a business decision rather than a community decision, and that's what felt inauthentic to me.
Yeah, it is like, all right, who's got money?
Yeah,
you know,
it's like, oh, they're
each
spending
wallet
money
holders.
on NFTs. Like, oh, they'll pay for it. And turns out they're like,
That's exactly- I didn't
like
think
it
about
doesn't
it
matter
like
if you had $1 million board ape. It was just kind of like, yeah, fuck you. I'm not spending $3 a month on that.
Yeah,
You know?
that's funny.
Yeah, it didn't really go well with like the community, right?
But
I mean,
you
look,
guys, it's something
I have to be grateful to Twitter, right? I mean, like most of the ecosystem of crypto exists because of Twitter to a large extent. It's from the perspective of community.
Yeah.
So, they're trailblazers. I mean, it's an incredible platform. Do I think that it could be better? Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, they got to get rid of the bots too.
They have to get rid of the bots.
Right.
I get a lot of
That's
bots
pretty
myself
damn-
these days.
yeah.
And it's pretty wild.
But yeah, that's something like, Web3, I'm surprised like there hasn't been. I know some people have tried. I know some like former Coinbase guys have left and tried. I forgot the name of it.
Guys are working on Lens protocol, which is like another move on that on like a Web3. What a Web3 like social platform like Twitter could look like too. But yeah, it feels like we're a little bit of a ways away. It's hard to like get that startup like velocity of like these things only work because there's people on the platform. And how do you get the first people?
But
on the
you guys
platform?
could do it. You guys have a community. Like you have tens of thousands of like diehards, right? Like you guys.
I know, and like we're gonna leave here, and he's like, "Let's go do that." And
I know.
we got
Well,
like 50
who
other
was the one that
free
you said has
things
the
to do.
Java experience? I mean, you guys have
Yeah, you
someone
got
that
the
has the
people.
experience. That's all you really need.
Yeah, we'll tell Crown like, just make us fucking Web3
Just make us the new Twitter, dude.
Yeah, but even like
Get up.
and I want to, because the new big buzz right now is like ENS domains. I want to kind of see what you guys think about that too, because again, that's something else, right? It could be .ape domains too, right? Like I would get a .ape domain, But what are your thoughts on like ENS domains right now? Because I mean, they're just going through the roof right now.
Yeah, I think it's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's kind of an NFT with innate utility. It's like this is your domain. In the same way, it's interesting, like though that for example in crypto we all use like .io and .xyz domains because like people are basically like, no, fuck that. I'm not going to pay that exorbitant price for the .com and like I'm going to make my own community here. But yeah, for a long time the .eth has been like it's a status signal and it's just also like easier if you're trying to send somebody something, like you can get to their mailbox that much easier.
It's also like kind of like in a certain sense, it's like the truest form of like digital land.
Yeah, so your little
that's your
carving out your little
plot.
spot.
You guys thought about it though, .ape? I mean, is that something else that I could throw on?
No comment.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that. Well,
He's always just smiling the whole time. You said so many things. You just smile.
well, because I could, bro. These guys are geniuses, and they could.
Is that one thing you guys do? Is not like overpromise stuff and like kind of.
Yeah, I don't like setting expectations high.
Yeah,
that's like I see that mistake happen a lot in NFTs and crypto in general, just the internet in general. People are like, oh, it's going to be the biggest, baddest thing ever. Floor price is going to go through the roof, and it's just like I don't do any of that shit. I don't talk about price action.
Yeah,
I don't talk about expectations. It's like
because someone's just gonna, if it doesn't go that way, someone's just gonna screenshot you and send it back in your face. And it's just
like we're always trying to be mindful of sort of like the cringe factor, just like
we're more like, I don't know, trying to like FUD ourselves sometimes to manage correct expectations, because like, and that's why we can't talk about some things that we're working on, because then people will get way too excited.
I know,
about
like
it.
people are going to interpret like the no comments
Pressure.
and the smiles, and they're going to think like, oh, they're doing this, this, and this, and this. It's like that might be true, it might be not true. It's like I'm not saying
we have
shit.
like 1,000 ideas and we can only execute a certain amount of them.
We have like
Things fall off the
75
bus.
people. It's like, and we're building and scaling the company as fast as possible. That takes time. Like we're in exponential growth right now, right? I mean, it's hard to get in the right people and build a company and sustain.
I feel that. I mean, we go through that same thing, right? When we're building, we kind of don't really announce it until it's out.
Yeah,
and
that's the
we'll
smart
maybe
way.
tease it, like with like, I think with this flavor, like we were on the Snoop episode, and he was going to talk about Dr. Bombay, and we're like, all right, cool. How do we connect? We show him this. So when we did the Snoop episode back in April, we teased, but at the same time, like the other stuff that we're really building around our community, it's like just let us build it. Like no distractions, just tunnel vision. Yeah. So like that's the same mentality we have as well.
Someone asked this the other day. It was like the funniest fucking question. They were like, when you released Mutants, which was like, how much did the Mutants like ultimately go for? It was like $90 million or something. Or 70, somewhere between 70 and $90 million. And it was like the biggest thing we'd ever done at that point. And and it was a very successful project and still is. And when we launched it, someone was like, we basically announced it saying the tweet was "fuck it, Mutant Saturday," and someone was like, oh, how did you decide it? Like that was the time. Like how long before did you decide that was going to be the day? Like, how did you map that out on your roadmap and internally? And we're like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, didn't you like come up with stats or data? And we're like, no. It was just like, we knew we were done Saturday. So we said, fuck it, Saturday. And it's like, that's just
not everything's calculated.
Yeah.
I think we got some food from Gecko. Dave Grutman, the owner, has sent us.
Thank you.
Of course.
So
All right.
Olive-fed filet.
Oh wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What type of aioli?
Ponzu aioli.
Oh, okay.
What do you guys suggest as far as security?
Yeah.
Like I
Hardware
hold all
wallets?
mine on
Hardware
ledgers.
wallets.
Hardware wallets, you know,
Yeah.
everyone should have a ledger.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably the easiest one for people to set up, in particular for NFTs.
Just a regular ledger, right? Like that regular, I think it's just called ledger.
You should never ever type your seed phrase into your computer. There's no reason to do that ever. Don't do it. Write it down on a piece of paper or something. If you're more sophisticated, there's like these, steel things that you can get it inscribed on, all that kind of stuff. And people need to act with like a lot of suspicion. It's like anytime you're being asked to connect your wallet, that you should treat that the same as if like you're on, Chase or bankofamerica.com and like gonna be approving a wire transfer. It's giving access to assets in some of these scenarios.
Someone told me, I don't remember if it was in New York or Miami, that like there's like robbers that like hang out outside of like NFT crypto parties, and they just know like someone's gonna come out and they have their like MetaMask, or their Coinbase wallet, and they're like, all right, transfer right now, like gunpoint, like it's happening.
Jesus.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
great. It's crazy. I
Well,
mean,
it's a new wave. It used to be a watch. Now it's a fucking send me your NFT.
Yeah, send me your ape,
Right.
right? Like send me your ape. Worth way more than a watch.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Got some questions on ApeCoin. Obviously it's doing very well. Bear market didn't help, but it's picked back up recently. I think like time of this interview is somewhere around $6.89, maybe $7. There's a lot of pressure, like with that. Like when it dips, like do you look at that? I know you don't look at floor price, but do you look at the price of ApeCoin? Like
Nope.
We're trying to play long term. Like, here we're for everything that we're doing, we're just focused about building utility and access, making things safer. Everything will figure itself out.
what else? Like, what do you think of when you think of ApeCoin? Like, a lot of people hold it. A lot of, the price is doing well.
Yeah.
So, just kind of curious. Like, what are your guys' thoughts? What do you, what's the day look like when ApeCoin comes up?
I mean, with everything that we do, like the hustle comes from like, how do we just build? Like that's where we're focused. Like, no, we're not like freaking out about price on anything, but we are freaking out about how like, hey, we have all these things we want to build. There's 75 people in the company. That's not enough. We need to be 120 by the end of the year. We need people in for this, that, or the other thing. Like, what is the next big, how do we get more people onto other side as soon as possible? We had 5,000 people, 4,500 in the first trip. How do we double that for the next one? How do we, get people building on top of it? How do we introduce more ways for people to, transact when we do a merch drop? How do we have, be able to have people buy and sell things with ApeCoin in an easy way?
Is that something you
in a
guys are
secure
working
way?
on though? Like talking to like teams that like say like, I don't know, Shopify or others to like integrate? Like
we talk to everybody in trying to, for our specific needs of like, when we did a merch drop and we were accepting ApeCoin a few months ago, and the platform that we were using for it, the to accept ApeCoin kind of shit the bed immediately. And and some of these things, they'll work well for smaller, of like 100 people trying to use something in an hour. But like when we did a merch drop, it was, thousands in like a minute. We were smashing this thing, and some things aren't battle tested in that way. And so like, how do we just get the infrastructure and the tooling there so that it supports what we're trying to do?
Yeah.
I think we should start accepting on our site, fullsend.com.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Start accepting ApeCoin.
Let's go.
So we'll reach out. It's built on Shopify right now. If they can't help us, we might reach out to you guys. I think helping you guys make that a utility would be pretty cool. And I know a lot of our fans, seen it in the Discord. A lot of them are holders of ApeCoin. They're all believers.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Something I'm kind of curious about, just kind of going back, is you guys stayed pretty quiet for a long time, right? About revealing yourselves behind the whole project.
Well, yeah. I mean, what happened was
BuzzFeed, right?
BuzzFeed, yeah, worked with a pretty malicious actor to dox us, and I think they were trying to come at it from the perspective of like, oh, we think these guys are nefarious, and they couldn't find anything nefarious on us. So then they were like, well, no one's allowed to be anonymous and run a business. Didn't mind that like all of our employees knew who we were, all of our partners knew who we were. Let's dox them. And so right before they dox us, we were like, well, we'll fuck it, we'll own it. We'll put up a photo of ourselves, introduce ourselves to the community.
Was there any rationale behind like why you didn't want to like share like?
I think it's just like kind of part of the crypto ecosystem, just to launch projects using a pseudonym. It was just kind of felt par for the course.
We always had an LLC. It's like not like that. Like
right, the government
somebody had an issue. There's a legal entity that someone could take it up with. So it wasn't like this.
And who's to say you have to be like public?
I just asked because the internet makes it a big deal where they're like,
I think journalists made it a big deal, but like the actual community, like, I don't know, is it really a big deal? Like, but anyway, people know who we are now, and it's like, it's fine. And I'm like, honestly, it's become a blessing in a certain sense.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, how's it changed?
Well, I mean, like, because like we think about like the first Ape Fest where you threw, like, I was anonymous at Ape Fest. No one knew who I was. I'd walk around the crowd. No one knew that, like, I'd helped create this whole thing.
Wow.
And it was kind of like magically. There's like thousands of people, and I'm just like, and sometimes I'd see people from the community, and I'd like tap their head and be like, hey, I'm Gordon. They'd be like, oh, we'd have a hug and talk or whatever. But this last,
I was out there like giving wristbands last Ape Fest. Like people thought I was an intern. I was like, come on. Like, that was the job every day. It was just like hustle for people.
And then like, okay, flash forward to this Ape Fest where we're like at Pier 17, maximum capacity, 4 nights in a row, 4,000 people a night. I couldn't even get everyone in every night because that's how high the demand was. And I walk outside of the area that I was hanging out in just to, meet some people. And it was like a line formed of people just wanting to meet me. And I'm just like 4 hours a night, just shaking hands, kissing babies, meeting the community, people who were like, I'd been dying to meet for the past year and a half, it was amazing. It was like extraordinary.
Felt a little bit like Mickey Mouse too.
Yeah,
like at Disney World.
I don't know. It was fucking stoked. It was like, I was fucking stoked because like the people who wanted to meet me almost entirely were people who were building in the space. They were utilizing the intellectual property. They were building their own projects. They wanted to talk. I gave them my email. It's like, let's shoot the shit. Let's talk about, so I have a large back catalog of emails I need to still get through. But it was like, a blessing and a curse in a certain sense, Yeah.
That's something
really cool.
We talked about the event that you guys threw last year, but we didn't talk about the one this past June.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, it was wild.
Like
Eminem.
Dogg, Lil Baby, Eminem showcased the new video, which is like amazing. Bro, it was so good.
Imagine going back like
LCD
15 years ago.
Eminem bought one. Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
Imagine like telling yourself 15 years ago, like Eminem's going to be at your company's event. Like that's so
it was
crazy.
Unbelievable.
It's ridiculous.
It was so good.
And they did the music video, and it was Eminem and Snoop. It was,
I don't know if you've noticed, but they like me to ask the hard hitting ones. So obviously, there's been those accusations and shit behind like, oh, these guys are racist, white supremacists, all that stuff. How did that even come about, and how do you respond to that?
Yeah.
It's been pretty crazy. I mean, like, obviously with all the attention that's been brought to the NFT space, there's like opportunists that come into it as well. And something that we saw, early last fall was when CryptoPunks were on top. That was like the project that everybody was reaching for. They had the highest floor of anything. It was like, it's the OG community. And a troll started like attacking that community and got behind this project, formed this project called Not Larva Labs. Punks were created by Larva Labs. This was not Larva Labs. They were going to take punks, remint them facing the other way and just kind of like needle at these people and troll them and get attention. And what happened was once apes took over punks, that attention of like, okay, who's on top? Who do we got to take down? Turned to us. And when somebody started minting an ape and facing it the other way, we're like, don't give them attention. Like, just leave it be.
Sure.
And then, of course, like the new opening was like, oh, what if we start up this conspiracy theory and that they're like secret neo-Nazis and this kind of shit? Because no one knew who we were. We just were anonymous people on the internet.
Right.
So if you're really clever and you can do this shit, like it can get attention. And
what were they using as like evidence or like to push that narrative?
I mean, it's like Alex Jones level shit. Like he could turn like this can into like 7 degrees of Hitler, basically. I mean, like seriously, it's like what it would get down to.
A journalist wrongfully put at one point that our project minted on April 30th as like the date, which is apparently, I guess, the date that like Hitler died, which no, I didn't know that neo-Nazis celebrate the day that Hitler died. I don't think they actually do. It's like, sounds like an okay day, but like, that was like one of the things, we have one of 4 of our logos. They were saying look like this Nazi logo that we've never seen before. Our logo looks like every fucking like It's a skull. It's like
sure.
every
and
other
like,
logo
and it's also like a really standard mock-up, right? Like
a
it's
mock-up
like
of
mock-up,
design.
right?
Yeah,
It's like basically there's like basically like every motorcycle club patch in the history of the world basically has that similar mock-up. And it's like, and like I was looking the other day, like if you go to Whole Foods, you can just like look at logos around your town, or like when you go shopping, it's like, oh yeah, this is like a standard mock-up, whatever.
At the end of the day, you know, when you're as big as you guys are, people are going to use
So
your
is a
name.
target on your
I
back.
think that's it. It's
Right.
also just like
That's
the
all
guy's
it
a
is.
grifter, right? The guy's made like millions of dollars. Like that's the thing that like once people like understand, it's like, oh wait, he's made millions of dollars off this grift.
Yeah.
Like he's incentivized to spread a
It's
conspiracy
basically
theory.
like a
Wait, how
marketing
did he
campaign.
How does he
money?
make the money?
Because he creates knockoff NFTs. That's what he did for Crypto Punks and created Crypto Funks. And he would board Ape Yacht Club.
Oh, so
and he
he's the
creates
scammer.
He's a scammer. That's all it is. It's like the guy's
Motherfucker.
literally, he brags about it. He's bragged about making millions of dollars off this shit. Right. And it's like you can find image like screenshots on his Discord
Yeah.
where he like
I don't
talks
even
about
think
he's
he
like, oh, he
deserved-
wants us to sue him. And it's like going to increase his clout or whatever. It's all like fucking nonsense.
Yeah, motherfucker doesn't
Yeah.
even
And it's like,
attention.
and like point in case, by the way, like, you know, I was born a Jew, Cuban American, our other two founders, Turkish American, and the other one's Guatemalan Pakistani. And it's just like, give me a fucking break. You know, it's like
doesn't identify
neo-Nazis,
Nazi.
like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like ridiculous.
You're just using your name.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. It goes with us, man. We
Yeah.
get it too. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
as much as people love us, people try to use our name all the time. You and I could make a YouTube channel today talking about Nelk Boys suck, and this is why.
Yeah.
We'll get a couple 100,000 views, 1 million views.
Yeah.
It's like, just use the big guy's name and you're going to get views. And it's a sad
They
thing
could use
about the
both our
internet.
names now. Happy Dad and Board Ape.
Yeah, they can
Yeah.
say,
Great
I mean,
title
yeah.
for somebody.
Yeah,
right?
Happy Dad, Board Ape,
Yeah.
Nelk Boys suck, and this is why. And
Yeah.
they're going to get a couple 100,000 views.
The nice thing is here, it's actually, well, it's not nice, but the reality of the situation is it's such a small percentage
Mhm.
of people. Like, it's like, you got to be like below GED level of intelligence to read through his shit and be like, oh, like, and actually
Yeah.
believe it, right?
Sure.
It's straight up, he's like the Alex Jones of NFTs, basically.
Yeah.
Got
And
it.
that's what it's become.
Do you give a fuck?
Not anymore, to be
This-
honest.
This guy deserves no attention, honestly.
That's
you got
what it
enough
is,
on the
you know?
biggest podcast,
Yeah.
on YouTube right now. Like,
Yeah.
fuck
So
that
I'm sorry
guy.
you
You
even
got
had to come up, But
yeah. Well,
I get
sorry
it, I
this
get
guy
it.
brought it
No,
up.
no, no,
I don't
I
know
get it,
why.
I get it,
Like all week long, I gotta bring it up.
Yeah.
So a lot of more other things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things to fucking talk about with these guys.
He's throwing me under the bus right now. It's
Right.
not how
Like,
it
I
Good
gotta
cop,
bring it
bad
up.
cop
I gotta
type
bring
shit.
it up.
You guys know
It's
the vibe.
like, yeah,
He's like,
it's
I'm
okay. I know
I'm
your
Jewish.
pain.
I can
Yeah.
bring it up. No,
Nah, but I appreciate it.
But I mean, me personally, from my advice, I've been in this business for a very long time. Worked with a lot of different people,
It'll
including
go away.
It'll
Yeah.
go
I
away.
know.
Don't give it attention. My personal advice.
Okay.
Keep fucking building. Keep winning.
The
Sir.
best way to shut up a fucking
Yeah.
hater,
Yeah,
right?
just
keep
win.
winning,
Just
winning.
win. And I think you guys stay focused. That guy just wants to be a distraction. He wants to see you guys come down. But all the stuff that we talked about in the last hour and a half until Steiny had to bring this shit up, like all the other stuff you guys are building, like people are not. No one's gonna remember about a stupid video on YouTube.
Yeah.
I watched like the first 5 minutes of it. I was like, all right, like I get where this guy's going. Like,
Yeah, when they got to the point where it was like, I don't know if it was the video, but like someone like reached out to me and they're like, what about the Hawaiian shirts in the collection? It's just like, what, have Hawaiian shirts been like canceled for everybody now? Because like some dipshits wear them. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like,
You know?
I don't know, there's so many different variables in the collection, so it's weird to see somebody like pull something out. They're like, oh yeah, the Hawaiian shirts. It's like,
Wait, what are
Okay.
they saying about the Hawaiian shirts?
because like, like the fucking like boogaloos, or like those alt-right fucks who like wear them and like they're like, oh, I'm going out with my AR-15 because I'm a fucking idiot or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. They're like
Yeah.
tying
Hawaiians
it's like,
are for
okay, what
everyone.
about the like
Maybe I don't
rainbow
wanna offend
suspenders
people
or like a
with guns right
Waiawera or like, I don't know. It's-
no,
Oh, yeah.
I would.
if he's
I would-
hating on Hawaiians, then he's just not cool,
I mean, that thing was a couple months ago. I think, to me, I even forgot about it. I really,
it doesn't pop up on our radar too much. I mean, it's like,
you guys are building some shit, man. Like, let's do .ape domains. Let's do platform now. But like the things that you guys are doing, man. It's like
Yeah.
it's been
Thank you.
crazy. It's been like it was a crazy a year ago watching.
because we
more.
never really wanted to be public people. I mean, it's like, so now
Yeah.
we're thrust into it. And it's like, okay, well,
But you guys are dope.
Yeah,
Good
you guys
speed-
married
yeah,
or
you're
Well,
dope.
so much.
Yeah,
Thanks.
but you
Yeah,
guys
I
are.
don't know,
I mean, you guys are in showbiz with your an NFT space and pop culture and music. You guys are on this show. Like, you guys are. And you guys are in showbiz, and it's like this shit's gonna happen, and you just have to ignore tunnel vision and just fucking keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate that advice. And I appreciate the situation. It's like when you become a public person because you've done something, kind of incredible. It's what we've been able to accomplish this past year. The good and the bad is going to come,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's like, what do we say? It's like, it's, you always got to pay the devil the 10%, it's like
Yeah.
every step up. It's like,
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you guys are the new wave American dream. Like, You were a publisher. What'd you do before this?
Nothing. I was sick for like fucking 10 years. I was like, I was going to go to grad school, and then I was like, oh, I'm in bed. And then like this idiot fucking contacts me. He's like, let's make an NFT. And I'm like, you have no idea what's in store.
What's the relationship like with Guy Osiri? Speaking of GOAT.
He's so incredible.
Yeah.
He's the best partner we could have possibly asked for. We're on the phone with this guy hours every day, working on all kinds of things together. He's like probably the only person I've ever met in my life who will stay in the ring with me, ideating, beating up an idea until the wee hours in the morning. And I think
Fuck you, I do that with you all the time.
Well, yeah. Okay.
From the moment we sold out last year, VCs were knocking at the door. And like, I don't know, we didn't know shit about running a company, let alone taking on venture capital. We knew it from like watching Silicon Valley, like the TV show and stuff. We're like, no, these guys are going to find a way to screw us. Like, we got to just, no, keep our heads down. And so when we got introduced to Guy, we were like suspicious. We were like, what's the deal here? I don't know. Like, this guy's got, he manages Red Hot Chili Peppers and Madonna and this stuff. Like, he's not going to have time for us, really, is he? But as we got to know him more and more, it just was like, oh, like he's, he was really part of this in like ideating, beating up ideas, like, and he has an incredible, I think it's probably from working with artists, he has an incredible maybe like bedside manner of like participating in the creative process.
Yeah.
But also like you just at a certain point you'd be like, no, we're just doing this. And he's like, okay. Like,
he had to like earn his cred with us a little bit. I remember like the first time I met him, he was like, what are your favorite bands? And I was like, all right, Bad Brains and KRS-One. They were like the first two bands I could think of. And one was like a old school hip hop artist. The other was like a DC hardcore band. And he goes, 1 second. He just gets on his phone and he starts scrolling through it. And he shows him at like age 16 with KRS-One in Brooklyn, like a photo of them arm in arm. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's
and
not
then
around.
he's like, and then another one. He's like, oh, and then he shows me with a photo of him and HR, lead singer of Bad Brains. And he's a fucking, he was like, yeah, I put them back together for the reunion tour. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And I got off the phone and I was like, yep, like he's coming in the building.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's the one thing about Guy. There's a lot of music managers out there. He doesn't get fired. Like there's no, I used to work with this person. Like everyone's like, I've worked with them for a very, very long time. Like people don't fire Guy Osiri. Like he's just a good
he's got
dude.
these like 30-year relationships and yeah, that's incredible.
It's a testament to his character. He's a
good human.
Yeah, and the more people I meet, the more people have kind of the exact story that you have here, which is that like it's just a genuinely great person.
Yeah.
Anything changed for you guys with the lifestyle, all that?
We bought Pelotons like immediately. That was like the one thing. I know that sounds ridiculous considering
the Pelotons.
The bicycles.
Okay, that's the biggest purchase.
Well,
no, I mean that was like the first.
Yeah,
thing.
what's up?
That was
Come on,
the
give
first,
me
like,
something juicy.
I know you guys are.
I know that's not juicy, but that really was. The
You pulled
first
up in
thing
a
we all
Ferrari.
bought.
I saw you.
A what?
Ferrari.
He
No,
did
no,
not.
that wasn't
What's
you?
up with
Oh,
Ferrari?
Bullshit. I took an Uber, bro. Come on.
I took an Uber too, by the way. Ferrari.
90s.
Have you guys made any big purchases or anything like that? I know you
I
got
bought
the
a new
modest.
home. I was living in like basically like a studio apartment before, so I bought a new home. I did.
Yeah,
do
we
that.
moved, but like I don't know.
It took me a while to get to that though, because again, like
course.
we work a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, this is like
Yeah.
the first time out the house I've been in a while.
I think 4 or 5 months in, we bought like Pelotons. That was the thing, and we're like, yeah, we're all gonna get in shape. We're gonna be like on fucking calls, like just riding the bike. That's what we're doing. And then like 2 weeks later, it was like this is just like a coat rack, in the living room.
I saw this great
Dust.
line the other day that was like, when I was poor, I had all this time, that I could have spent money, but now that I'm not so poor, I don't have much time to spend money. So it's not really about, what we're buying. It's just about like where our attention is, and our attention is just like heads down constantly.
I think like
It's
Uber
cool.
Eats is where I spend all my money.
Mostly,
Like it's just like smash that
I bought
priority
an
button.
infrared sauna. That was like
Oh,
a very
bro,
exciting
game changer.
That's a
though.
good
Game changer.
No,
I want
yeah,
to buy like
you're
one
good
of
for
those
that.
like cold immersion tubs.
Dude, yeah.
I'm like kind of
Saunas are
nerdy with like the alternative
huge.
health stuff.
Game
Saunas
changer.
are-
Yeah,
saunas
That's
are
every
amazing.
day.
My girlfriend and I we're just like
He goes
obsessed
hard
with
on the alternative health.
it.
Yeah, that's huge. Well, nice. Congrats on the sauna.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think we're good, right?
Yeah, we're good.
Congratulations, guys.
We're good.
Thank
Yeah,
you so
no,
much.
we've been
Congrats,
nice.
congrats on this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats on all the success you guys are having. It's like you guys are
We
absolutely.
need you guys to pick up meta cards yourselves.
Yeah.
We're
Sure.
we'll send
Let's
you a
do it.
link to that, or you can find it on OpenSea.
Yeah, I'm down.
But no, we appreciate it. I mean, we've been wanting to get them on for time. Right?
Yeah.
You guys have really
Yeah.
inspired us. I appreciate
Yeah.
everything you
Thanks,
guys have
guys.
done.
Thank you,
It's,
guys.
it's
Awesome.
awesome to just sit down. It's the best part of the podcast. Get to sit down with people like you and just learn, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
I
thank you
really
guys.
appreciate
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you guys.
Cheers.
Thanks guys.